I give you just another minute or two, and then we'll keep right on moving. Okay, so if anybody wants to add anything else to the board, please feel free, but I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. As MJ said before, I am Kenny York. I am an author. I am the founder of the Let Your Voice Be Heard Foundation, Incorporated. I am a sexual abuse survivor, and I am a mother. As you can see, I have my little people here today. I am just an ordinary person with extraordinary dreams that I take the liberty to make reality. And with everything that I do, per my personal mantra, I strive to make a difference and not just a dollar. Sometimes I think people step into the literary industry with the idea of writing a book or releasing a book and becoming an instant sensation overnight, or becoming famous overnight, or becoming rich. For me, it's not about that. It's not about fame. It's not about money. It's about passion, and it's about making a difference. And it's about when I'm no longer here, my books, my titles will still be here, and everything that I work towards would still be standing, because I'm focusing on leaving a legacy. And nobody and nothing can tell me or stop me from leaving that legacy but me. And nobody can make it happen for me but me. So the take-home lesson, I'm gonna give it to you early and not at the very end, so you know what you're supposed to be holding on to, is stop waiting for permission to be great. You're already great. You already have greatness inside of you. You just have to believe it and make it happen. You have to make your star shine brightly. I'm gonna tell you a little something about me that wasn't in that bio. When I was 14, I was sexually abused by my father. My dad told me I would never be anything. He told me just about the best that I could do was maybe go into the military and not be killed. He just didn't think that I was smart enough or capable of doing anything else. At the time, I loved poetry. It was my outlet. I didn't have a diary because I was afraid, if I wrote something in the diary, he would find it and I'd be in trouble. So instead, I wrote poetry because I figured, oh, let me write something intelligent. He'll never look at that. I was wrong. He found my poetry notebook and he burned it because he didn't want me to have any creative outlet. He tried to silence me. He tried to silence my creativity. He molested me, he emotionally abused me, and he pretty much tried to break my spirit. Now this could have gone one of two ways. I could have allowed him to do that, or I could have done what I did do and make it a personal decision, a personal goal to prove him wrong. And every day I have to look at myself in the mirror because I still have some residual hurt and pain from that, and tell myself that you are not what you've been through, and you are not what he said you are, and you're not going to be what he said you would be. You are whatever it is that you want to be. So with all of that in mind, when my father finally did go to jail for what he did to me, and I moved on to go to Agnes Scott College, where I graduated at the top of my class after my dad said I would never get into anybody's college because I wasn't smart enough. After that, I got married and had 3 beautiful children, and my father said nobody would ever love me, and I would never be married. Now, I'm gonna tell the truth, I've been married and divorced, but I got married again, so. My point in saying that is, I am lovable, and I am capable of love, even though my father said I was not. So, in the midst of having a family and trying to find myself and trying to overcome being a sexual abuse victim, now survivor, I decided to tap back into my creative spirit. So while at Agnes Scott, I minored in creative writing. And one day I turned in an assignment that my professor said sounded more like a novel to him than just a short story. I took that short story, elongated it, and that became my first novel, Ask No Questions. I finished that book while I was on maternity leave with my first child. I finished it and I said, now what? I didn't know the first thing about publishing. I knew nothing. I just knew that I had a manuscript, I thought it was good, he thought it was good, and I wanted it to be published. And I'm sure that many people, many authors, writers can relate to this, just wanting some publishing company, some entity to say, oh my God, you're so great, let me publish you, let me market you. So I waited for that. And then finally a company came to me and said, oh, we think you're awesome, we love your manuscript, and we would like to publish it. And what did I do? I signed that contract.
Pee-pee boy.
It wasn't a horrible decision, but it was probably not the best decision. But I'm thankful for it because it did give me my start. I published 4 books with this company, and at the time it was called Publish America. They have since changed their names. They published my first book, Ask No Questions, and I was stunned by the lack of involvement they would allow me to have in the publishing process of my project. I had no say in my cover. I had no say in the price of my book, which hurt me in the end because they priced my book so ridiculously that people who wanted to support me couldn't because the book was so expensive. Even me myself, I couldn't keep my book stocked because I couldn't afford the discount that they were offering me. Yet and still, they got me into stores. My books were on shelves, and I gave them 4 titles before I realized I can do bad by myself. So I thank them for the distribution because that's really all that was. Because everything that I did, all of my book signings, and I've done book signings in major bookstores since 2008 were being published under them. But all of that was because of me. That was because of the relationships that I built with readers and book clubs. The relationships that I built with bookstores and managers. Not because Publish America said, okay, we want to market you, because they didn't. So I decided, okay, well, what's next for me? Because I can't keep doing this, and obviously no publisher is gonna come knocking at my door right now. So I decided to self-publish, and I didn't know, just like when I first started, I didn't know anything about self-publishing. And it was another author, and some of you may have heard of him, his name is R.M. Johnson, who first told me about the ebook world and how to self-publish. I was stunned, I was amazed. It was news to me, I took notes, we met over coffee. And it was the best meeting I've ever had because that meeting changed my life. And I'm not just saying that, it is the truth. It changed the course of my career. So my book, The Girls, it was a different book for me because everything else that I had written had been more like self-help and murder mystery and children's books. But this was urban fiction, this was gritty, this was hard-hitting, this was stuff that people within my community could relate to. So I self-published it. This was the first book I ever had that made somebody's bestsellers list, and I was over the moon. I said, look at me doing it for myself. I got my own graphic designer. I got my own printer. I did my own marketing, and I still was setting up my own book signing. So there was nothing very different between my relationship with Publish America and me being an independent author. Because I was still doing it all, but now, this time, I was getting all of the return, and I wasn't giving somebody else my hard-earned pennies. But still, I felt like something's missing. I still am not getting the sales I really want to get. I'm not really reaching the people I really wanted to reach. But then I started branching out more. I became more familiar with social media, and I'm not really a computer savvy person, so this was a little difficult for me. And this is how I started meeting other authors and networking, because I'll tell you something about some of us. Some of us don't like to share information because we have this crabs in a barrel mentality. Well, we don't want to help the next person come up, but we know that somebody had to help us come up. Right. If R.M. Johnson had never sat me down over coffee and talked to me, I wouldn't even be standing here talking to you. So who am I not to give information or not to give encouragement or inspiration to the next person, to the next aspiring author? So with social media and meeting other authors and meeting other readers, I began to branch out a little bit more. When I tell you, you never know who's watching you, you never know who's watching you. So for that person that's wondering if or when a publisher, if that's your goal, if or when a publisher is going to say, hey, I want to publish you, it can happen. Don't wait on it. Do your thing. I wasn't waiting for Carl Weber to come knocking at my door, but it happened. Because of everything that I was doing, this company saw my hustle and my grind and said, okay, well, we see what you're doing for yourself. So if we just put a little backing behind you, let's see what you can do then. I welcome that opportunity because I know that a lot of my peers would have welcomed that opportunity. So who am I not to say, okay, I'll do it and I'll be great. And I do think that I am great. I think it's all about your mindset. If you think that you're great, whatever you think of yourself, that's what you're going to be. And that's how people are going to perceive you. So let's fast forward a little further to the present. A lot of people, a lot of writers, I'm sure, when you're writing your book, you can see it, right? You can see that action. You can see those characters interacting. You can see that storyline being on the big screen. And I'm sure a lot of people aspire to make it to the big screen, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't wait on it. I wanted my book to become movies. I didn't wait on it. Earlier last year, in 2016, on January 1st, I released my short story series entitled At Least I Didn't Kill Him. And it's about domestic violence. In April of that same year, I met the owner of an independent production company. Didn't know this man from Adam. He showed up at my annual sexual assault awareness benefit event. He wanted to film it. I said, okay, cool. And we started talking. And he told me how God put it on his heart to film a movie. And I'm thinking, okay, I hear you. Because I've been thinking about having my book turned into a movie. We talked about the book, he read it, he loved it. Before the end of April, we had a contract. Before the end of the summer, we were in production. September 7th of this year, my movie was on the big screen. That was our premiere night. And it was the best feeling in the world, not just because, oh, I have this movie that people are watching, but because I took something that was mine and I took it further, and we made it a big deal. We gave opportunities to actors who had never been on anybody's big screen. We gave opportunities to artists, music artists, who had never been on anybody's soundtrack. So it wasn't just about me. And then, like I said before, I'm a person who's about making a difference and not just a dollar. I told you that movie was about domestic violence. That wasn't just some fictional story that popped into my head to entertain. It was meant to inspire. It was meant to educate. So we did all of that just because one day I said, this is what I want to do. We made a huge difference. So, what does all that got to do with me telling you to put those sticky notes up there on the board or our take-home message? There are a lot of things in life, a lot of obstacles that we're all going to overcome, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, a lot of obstacles. And it's up to you to decide, am I going to go over the hurdle or am I going to stand there and stare at the hurdle? Everything that you guys put up on the board and all of my obstacles too, it's just a board of excuses. It's just a board of excuses because there is always a way. You know how we say we don't have any money? We can't go do this because we don't have no money, but let a sale pop up. And it's something we wanted, are you gonna find those pennies and you'll make it happen? Same thing. It's just about being creative and about being organized. And I'll give you an example. One of my hurdles, I'm a mother of 3 and at some point I got divorced. Remember that? I worked for DeKalb County DFAS. Can you imagine what my paycheck looked like? So I couldn't afford to travel and go to the big literary events that happen every year. So what I had to do in order to meet new readers and get my name out there more was create my own lane and stay in it. I created my own events. So the readers were coming to me and I was going out to them, but I wasn't having to come out of pocket spending money that I knew I didn't have at the time. I created events such as a night with Kenny, a literary mixer, at a nice, quiet little cafe or lounge where readers can come out and listen to me read excerpts from my book, or they could read excerpts from my book. They would bring books for me to sign and get to know me on a personal level. Because the thing about building your reader base, it's not about having a great book, you guys. There are a lot of great books out there. It's about the readers connecting with you beyond your pen. Once they connect with you, once they buy into you and what your brand is and what you stand for and what you represent, you can come up with anything, and you'll have those loyal people that are going to support you just because it was you, just because it is in line with your brand, just because it is genuine and authentically whatever it is you said your brand was. So, take home message. Stop waiting for permission to be great. Stop waiting for somebody to offer you a book deal. Be your own book deal. You have a manuscript sitting on your computer, laying on your desk, okay, go publish it. I'm sure you met a lot of people, heard some wonderful information in workshops today. There is a wealth of knowledge out there to be had. All you have to do is go and get it. Publish your own book, do the research, and make it happen for yourself. You never know who's watching. You want that publishing deal, it may come later. And then again, it may not. But that doesn't mean that your story shouldn't be told. If you feel like you have the story, tell it. Stop waiting for your publishing company, if you have one, to promote you. Promote yourself. You'll be waiting forever. Create your own marketing strategy. Create your own promotional tour. Create your own promo material. Get it popping. You can do it. There are resources, there are companies out there who specialize in this very thing with helping you move your brand to the next level. Stop waiting for readers to discover you. That's not really gonna happen. There are a ton of authors out there. We are in the sea of hungry sharks. There are some authors out there, some independent authors out there who are hungry, you guys, and they are putting in the work and they are grinding hard 24/7. So you want readers to pay attention to you? Go to them. Create ways to put yourself in front of readers. Determine who your target audience is, and then figure out where to find those people. Stop waiting for some large publishing company to invest in you or invest in your project. Invest in yourself. You want to do a tour? You're waiting for your publishing company to cut that check? Stop waiting. Save for it. Because we all know, like when the holidays roll around and we start saving money for Christmas and toys that these kids will not be playing with a season from now, you can start saving those dollars so you can take yourself on tour, so you can build your legacy, so you can share your brand with the readers that you wish to obtain. Stop waiting for someone's bestseller list to validate you and say that your book is good. Validate yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're awesome. You want to be perceived as awesome? Behave as if you're awesome. Present yourself as if you're awesome. Stop waiting for somebody's big production company to say, hey, I read your book, I thought it was great, let's turn it into a movie. Because chances are, we're not gonna all run into Tyler Perry on the street tomorrow, and he's not gonna tell all of us, ooh, I loved it, let's get it going. Find a way. If it's what you wanna do, make it happen. Take home message. Stop waiting for permission to be great. You're already great. Yeah. You already have greatness inside of you. It's up to you to let the rest of the world see it. If you don't believe in yourself, how the heck else do you expect the rest of us to believe in you? How? Do the work. Invest in yourself. Believe in yourself. The rest will come. The obstacles, we all have them. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it hamper you from realizing whatever dream it is, whatever goal it is that you have. And it may not be to be the next New York Times bestseller. It may not have anything to do with literary world, period. Whatever it is. Do the work. Believe in yourself. Go forth and be great because you already are. And who are you not to show the rest of the world how great you are? Thank you.